Hey guys, how's it going? Missing Note here. It's been a while. Over the last month, my girlfriend was sick. I was sick. And then I think I got my girlfriend's daughter sick, and then she ended up getting the flu and strep at the same time. So that really sucked. Haven't been able to do any Kaijudo content, which makes me very sad. Was going to record some more of the Moemon game because I uploaded like a 2-hour-long video. I'm like, oh, here's what's going to happen next. And I've hit a roadblock because the game is entirely in Japanese, and I don't know what to do next because every trainer is turning me away in this building, but I know it's the next stop I'm supposed to go to, so there's a puzzle I have to figure out, and trying to translate it with Google is not working, so until I can figure that out, that also has to get paused. So going back to Kaijudo, we are going to pivot from Evo Fury format, and we're going to go back and revisit a deck that I uploaded about 10 months ago as of recording this video, and it is Light Dark Control with Alcadeus Vengeance Archon. There was a lot of things about the deck that even when I uploaded I said this was just like kind of something I slapped together, and since then I have adjusted it more and more, and this is more to a liking of what I think I should be playing. I have cut it down to a solid 40 cards, and I've cut the 14 multi-civs down to I believe 8. And this has been testing so much better. There's still maybe a couple things I might need to tweak here or there, but overall, it's been doing really good. So let's go ahead and jump on into this. To start things off, we are playing 3 copies of Chasm Entangler. It's a 1 for 2000 blocker. It's an Enforcer, can evolve into Prime. This is just a fantastic card overall. Just some early game defenses and really fast early game Evo bait. There's not really much to say about it. Chasm Entangler is just a really, really good card. One of the first changes I've made was I have opted to cut the Sting Wings for 3 copies of Raincloud Kraken instead. This is more of a consistency thing in my opinion. A 2 for 3000 blocker is still really good. Granted, a 2 for 4500 blocker is really good, but it requires having 2 colors by turn 2 that aren't multi-civ. So, Sting Wing is nice, but playing with this deck recently, I've learned that I care more about the effect you get from Alcadeus' light effect than I do its dark effect. If I get it, that's cool. It's a nice little bonus. But I care far more about the light effect you get off of Unleashing with Light. So I've opted to go just Raincloud Kraken mostly for consistency. And so far, it's been a really good choice. So I'm really liking the Raincloud Kraken. 2 copies of Alcadeus Vengeance Archon. This is one of the whole reasons that I built this deck. This was my favorite card from Eye of the Storm. Was never officially released, so as I put in a lot of my videos, I'll put a link to the video on how to get these cards printed up for yourself. But anyway, Alcadeus Vengeance Archon. 2 for 6500 Vortex Evolution that evolves on top of 2 light and or dark creatures. It has Double Breaker. And its unleash effect is if you unleash a light card, you tap your opponent's entire board. This doesn't target. It's basically a Holy Awe, or Nipple Beam, Storm Spark Blast, whatever you want to call it. Just tap your opponent's entire field. Super good. If you unleash a darkness card, you can banish a tapped enemy creature. That's also really good. That effect, however, does target, which is why I don't care about it as much, because there's still like a lot of things that kind of get past that. Haven, of course. Keeper of Laws, Neptus, stuff like that. So I don't care about that effect as much, but it's definitely something really nice to be able to take advantage of as well. And if you have both creatures, if you like unleash over a Targusher or something, you get both effects. So tap the whole board and then kill something. That's pretty good. Next we are playing 3 copies of Blinder Beetle. 3 for 1000 is kind of butts, but that's perfectly fine. When screen enters the battle zone, you get to tap something. It does apply some pressure if you want to go and like kill something with Slayer after you tap something with Blinder Beetle. That's really fun. Evolution bait for Alcadeus and Blinder Beetle Prime, because Prime is also a huge hitter in this deck. Overall, it's just a great card. There's a lot of tapping involved, and he definitely helps with that. 3 copies of Targusher. In my opinion, Targusher is probably the best uncommon in the game. I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel. 3 for 1500. Slayer, Gunk Up. Crash into something with Targusher. Targusher dies. It kills whatever it attacked, and then you get to tap something else. All these are absolutely fantastic. But then also, if you evolve your Alcadeus on top of this and you unleash the Targusher, you get both the Nipple Beam effect and you get to kill whatever you tapped. So that's really cool. We're also playing 3 copies of Mesmerize, because I don't like you having cards in your hand. Being able to look at your opponent's hand and just hit whatever you know is going to be a threat. Super, super good. I mean, it's not much to say. It's Mesmerize. It's a fantastic card. For level 4s, we're playing 3 copies of Keeper of Laws. This card is just a staple in most of my light decks. 4 for 3500. While you have another creature out on the battle zone, this creature can't be targeted by your opponent's spells or abilities. And anytime your opponent casts a spell, you get to draw a card. That's really nice. Like I said, it is affected by things like Stormspark Blast. Like if it affects the whole board and doesn't specifically say target, it can still be affected by it. But again, if you're getting hit by a Holy Wall, you're still going to draw another card. So I mean, there's that at least. But yeah, staple card. Can't evolve into Prime, but can evolve into Alcadeus if you need it to. 3 copies of Targusher. Nani? 4 for 4000. Slayer. You can send this creature from your discard pile, and whenever a card will be sent from your opponent's, sent to your opponent's discard pile from anywhere, they get put at the bottom of your opponent's deck instead. This is both a good and a bad thing, because there's sometimes you just don't want your opponent getting cards put back at the bottom of their deck. But that's just something you gotta consider when you're playing Underworld Stalker. But this card is absolutely fantastic. Slayer is really good. Evolving on top of Alcadeus on top of this. Detaching it to kill something. Next turn, bring it back with Slayer. All kinds of stuff. It's just really, really good. 3 copies of Spire Puppet. 4 for 2500. When creatures battle zone, your opponent has to discard a card from their hand at random. Again, just I don't like you having hand. And just like Targusher, if you evolve your Alcadeus on top of this, you get both of its effects. So that's really nice. And the last level 4 we play is 3 copies of Bone Blades, because of course it is. I mean, it's Bone Blades. What else is there to say? Next, we are playing 3 copies of Blinder Beetle Prime. I am taking back my Gentleman's Code, and I am definitely playing 3 Prime in this build. This deck is good, but 3 Prime makes it a whole hell of a lot better. But yeah, Blinder Beetle Prime is just a fantastic card. 5 for 6000 evolution creature evolves on top of your enforcers. Double breaker when it enters the battle zone, and whenever it attacks, you get to tap a thing. So just on play, you're tapping 2 things and either killing something or breaking 2 shields. It's really freaking good. Blinder Beetle Prime is absolutely fantastic. And yeah, it's definitely a 3 of in this build. We're playing 3 copies of the Arbiter. 7 for 2500 Shield Blast creature. When this creature enters the battle zone, tap 2 enemy creatures. Just simple as that. Like I said, there's a lot of tapping on this deck, and that's like what the whole point of this deck is. A well-timed Arbiter can absolutely win you a game, just like well-timed Stormspark Blast. But Arbiter is also an Enforcer, so if your opponent hits it early, you can evolve on top of it into Prime. So that's really good. I have opted to cut out the Regent Sasha's, and instead I'm now playing 2 copies of Trox. Whether or not that is the correct call has yet to be decided. I'm definitely liking the Trox more than the Sasha's currently. But there has been at least one time like, man, I really wish Sasha was here instead. But Trox is really good. It can remove 3 Havens on the field if your opponent actually hasn't beaten you for some reason. So that's really nice. 7 for 11,000 power evolves on top of any darkness creature. Double breaker. Like I said, unleash, banish an enemy creature that you name. So that's really good. Doesn't actually target. So that's a fun little card. And the last card we're playing is 3 copies of Terror Pit. It's Terror Pit. Nothing else to say about that. But anyway, yeah, it's a short video. That's the deck. I just wanted to touch base on this deck. As you can tell, I cut the UFO if you watch the last video. I really did not like UFO. Just kind of sat there. Oh, in case you're wondering, this was signed by Joshua Heater. And it says Bobby Brake hates Beatles. So, yeah, shout out to Bobby Brake and Joshua Heater. I really like this card. It's great. But yeah, UFO. I feel it's overrated, overhyped, and the only reason why it's that expensive is because it came out in Vortex, and when Vortex came out, the game was already announced to be dead. So, no one bought the set, I guess. And I guess it's just that expensive because no one wanted to pay for that product at the time. But yeah, I don't like it. Just clogged up my mana zone and made me sad. But yeah, also, this card, again, was never officially released. Again, I'll be providing a link in the video down below to get these cards printed up. I haven't heard from anybody else recently about the website turning them down. So who knows? I am still getting quite a few downloads of those files. So I know people are still at least downloading them. I don't know people actually trying to get them printed on cardstock. But just something to note that there might be an issue, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, this is the deck. I'm really enjoying it a lot more than I was previously. Far more consistent than it was. Yeah, 14 more. I'm having a stroke. 14 multi-civs was way too many. In terms of updates, I've been playing the hell out of this deck. This was a Haven list made by Papids on the Discord, who, if you don't know, is the person that won the very last Kaijudo Winter Championships with the Mono Nature midrange. This is his build of Light Dark Nature Haven he took to a tournament. I have been loving it. This is now my daughter's probably new favorite deck to play. We went up to our locals recently and she played with this deck for just hours. Yeah, she loves it. I love it. It's really good. Maybe I'll profile it. Who knows? In terms of Master Duel, I'm playing it again, but I don't really see me uploading more videos on that anytime soon, so who knows, we'll see. I kind of got burnt out on Master Duel. Pokemon videos are something that, like I said, I'm currently struggling with because choosing to play a Japanese game and not knowing how to read Japanese was definitely a decision I knew could have a consequence. And it did, because, like I said, I'm locked out of the game at a part where I don't know what to do. So once that gets resolved, part 2 of that game will eventually be up. So there's that. And last thing on my little ramble, I have recently become super freaking obsessed with Dungeon Dice Monsters again. So I might be doing Dungeon Dice Monsters in the future. Who knows? Yeah, that whole stupid game that had 3 episodes based around it in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, I'm picking that up. That shit is expensive. Oh my god. I'll be doing proxies instead of like doing the actual figures and cards, and like making my own little tiny like tokens for the characters instead of like having the standees. Because like I saw a guy spend $1,300 on a Slifer the Sky Dragon and a card for it. No, that is stupid. I'm not doing that. Also recently joined a Discord for the Mega Man NT Warrior card game, and I have boxes upon boxes of that set or that game just laying around. I have a Sharkman deck somewhere. I recently found out that Sharkman was actually a bad deck. I thought it was really cool when I played it. So Sharkman was my main deck. Also Electman. Oh my god, he is so good. But anyway, I'm rambling a lot. So this is the end of the video. I will catch you guys whenever I'm able to. And, yeah, thanks for watching.